and welcome back. So in today's tutorial we will be focusing on one of the most asked topic in last week, okay, which is OAuth 2.0. So I'll be dividing this particular tutorial into two parts. The first one will be in terms of inbound integration and the second one will be in terms of the outbound integration. Okay, so first of all, let's understand what is inbound integration and outbound integration. So inbound integration is like when you are providing an API to a third party tool to access the data from your system. That is inbound. Where you will be like a provider, then it's an inbound for you. Okay. The outbound will be like when you will be receiver. So there is a third party API which certain tool has provided and you are consuming that API to get the data. Then it will be outbound for you. Okay, so in this tutorial we'll be looking over for inbound integration, okay, using OAuth 2.0, and for the external tool we'll be using Postman. Okay, I will show you end to end how it works. So first of all, let's understand what is OAuth 2.0. So I will go to the ServiceNow docs. Okay, and what ServiceNow docs states is like OAuth 2.0 lets user access instance resources through external client by obtaining a token rather by entering logical credentials with each resource request. So basically there are two type of integration. One is basic authentication and the second one is the OAuth authentication. When we talk about basic authentication, so it's the simplest one and it's easy to be it's not secured, we can say, where we use username and password of an user to get the information. Okay, the second is the OAuth, and we are looking for OAuth 2.0, where instead of username and password, instead of credential, we use access token to hit the APIs and to get the data. So access token will not be readily available to you. You have to generate access token every time you want to hit the request, so that because of which it's quite stable. Okay. So I think this is clear for you. Okay. So it has given refresh token. So you can see access token. This is required. This is used. We have access token and refresh token. Okay. So let's try to understand how the OAuth works first. How we get the access token and all that. Okay. So I have created one diagram over here. Okay. So this is OAuth 2.0. Okay. So what you have to do when you want to, I have distributed around it two calls, the first call and the second call. So the first call, okay, which we can call as with a grant type as password. Why it has a grant type as password? Because we are using password. Okay, that's the reason. Okay, so what you have to do, just understand one thing. Your main motto is to get the access token, because using that access token only you can hit the APIs. Okay, that's the main thing. So in the first call, when we are using simple basic authentication, so we basically use username and password, and if someone has your username and password, then he can do whatever he wants. Okay, so in that terms, OAuth is quite secure. So in the first call, what we do, we provide these attributes. We provide these 5 attributes. So the grant type is with password, because in the first call we'll be using password. So it's like only first time we have to use the password, then you can use the refresh token. So we have to pass 5 attributes to an API, to an ServiceNow access a token provider API, which is a grant type, which will be password by default for the first one, the client ID, client secret, username and password. So when we pass this information to an OAuth API, we get in return access token and refresh token. Okay, from ServiceNow, and access token is used to do all kind of authentication in order to get the data out of get the data out of the API. Then you must be thinking, what is the need of resource token? Not refresh token. It's the refresh token. Sorry. So what is the use of refresh token? So once you call the API, the first call you use username and password, which is not a secured way, as I told while explaining the basic code. Okay, you use those things out, and you got the access token and refresh token. But now, if you want to regenerate the access token, is it feasible? Is it good enough to go with the OAuth if it's also asking the same information, that is user and password? No, right? So in the second call, or in the next call, what you have to do, what you can do, instead of using user and password, you can replace that user and password with refresh token which you got from the first call. Okay, so in the second call you can say as what will be the grant type then? Yes, you are correct. So the grant type will be a refresh token then. Okay, refresh token, and with refresh token, now we will be passing client ID, client secret, and refresh token which we got from the first call. Okay, and then again we will get access token and a new refresh token which you can use in generating the access token again. Okay, so how we can do the same? Okay, so for example, you take a scenario, you have a table API, like for example, if let's go to our favorite table, why this Lenovo laptop got started. So for example, we will look into the API incident.list. Okay, why I'm going, so we'll be looking for incident table. So what we'll do, we will go to REST API Explorer. I will be using table API for the demo purpose, and let's generate one API. So let's have an API to get all the records. Okay, so I will select an incident, that's it, and if we send this information, you should get 200 OK, and you should get the data like this, something like this. Okay, now we will try to call the same API from the external environment, right? So first of all, the first step, what you have to do, it's pretty simple. Okay, people make it complicated, but it's pretty simple. So first of all, you have to follow the same steps. Okay, you have to go to application registry. Okay, go to application registry. I will open a new tab, and now create a new record over there in application registry. So it gives you 4 options. Create an OAuth API endpoint for external client. That's what we will be doing in this particular tutorial. Then connect to a third-party OAuth provider. That is the second session for me. Okay, I'll be doing. Then it's like OIDC and OAuth provider. Okay, so we will be going with the first option. We are creating an OAuth API endpoint for external client. So it's that simple. Now you will simply laugh. So here you can see client secret is already populated and grayed out. Okay, you can't edit it out. Client secret is blank, but guess what? You don't have to leave blank. You can see leave blank, secret blank to automatically generate a string. Okay, so either you can give or you can keep it as a blank. Let's keep it as blank, and I will give, it's like inbound API. Okay, let's give some name, inbound API. And what you have to do, you have to simply give this only input, and that is also based on your will, what you want to do. Okay, and save. So once saved, okay, the client secret will also get generated. How you can see the client secret? You have to simply click on this, and it is the client secret for you. Okay, it's a randomly generated string. You can see what else is important over here. You can see refresh token lifespan. So this is like what is the lifespan of the refresh token. Okay, so ideally the refresh token lifespan is around 100 days. Okay, and access token lifespan it's in seconds, right? So if we convert it out, it's like a 30 minutes. So basically you should always keep access token lifespan as small as possible and refresh token lifespan as big as possible. Okay, reason being key, if you have an access token, okay, and if you keep it to a longer duration, then there are chances that it will get exposed and it will be used by some unauthenticated user, right? So that's why this OAuth came into existence. So now we have done with the application registry, and guess what? This is all you have to do in order to do the OAuth integration. Okay. Now what we have to do? Let's see how it works. So as a for demo purpose, as a third-party tool, I'll be using Postman. Okay. So for the people who are familiar to Postman and not familiar to Postman, so Postman is an interface which is used to hit the APIs. Okay. This is my definition. Okay. So basically, first of all, let's try to get the API. Okay. Whether it works or not. So let's go here, and I will go where is the API. And if I give this API, if I copy this API, and it's a gate API, right? So okay, I paste it out, and if I'm not doing anything, and if I simply send, what exactly it will give? It will give required to provide an auth information. User ID not authenticated. Yeah, we have not provided any information. Okay, so how to do that? Okay, so what you can do, you can simply take the first base URL. Okay, we are looking into generating the tokens, right? So you can create a new tab and you can paste it out. You can make it as a post call, and you have to simply add OAuth. What we are trying to achieve, we are trying to get OAuth token, right? So I will get OAuth token .2, and this is the this is a standard URL in order to fetch the token. Okay, so as explained in the diagram, we'll be passing the 5 attributes. Okay, so how you can pass the attribute, you have to go to body. In body you have to go to form URL encoded, and let's give all the information. So first is grant type, as I told you, right? Grant underscore type, and for the first call, as I told, it will be password. Okay, the second attribute is client ID. The third attribute is client secret. Client secret. The fourth attribute is username, and the fifth attribute, and the fifth attribute is password. So as we are using password, we have given the grant type as password. Okay, now let's put the value. So I have username as admin, I have password as my standard password is SSWORT@123, so that I will, it's tough for me to remember. Now we will give client ID and client secret. Okay, so we'll go here, we will take this first of all, client ID. Okay, and then we will select the client secret. So we have provided all the information, and as per the diagram I've shown, right? So we should get access token and refresh token in the response. So let's try it out. So what I will do, I will send, and now as you can see over here, if I do, we got access token, which is this will be using this in order to hit our APIs. Okay, you can see token type equal to bearer, so this also plays a role. Okay, so we got access token, we got refresh token. Now in the next call, as giving username and password doesn't make any sense, right? So what we'll do, we'll remove username and password. Okay, and I will simply copy this thing out. Okay, refresh token, and let's try to hit without username and password. What happens? Okay, so I will click. Okay, now let's do send, and now it's like access denied because I have removed the username and password. So instead of username and password, now you can give a refresh token. Okay, why? Because I have shown you already, right? In the other call, you can remove the username and password, and you can remove it. You can replace it with a refresh token which you got, and it will again return the same thing: access token and refresh token. Let's see. So I've given refresh token. I will put the value what we got, and now if we try to send, it gave access denied. Why it gave access denied? Did I made a mistake? Oh, yeah, I made a mistake. So now as we are using refresh token, right? So the grant type needs to be changed to refresh token. Refresh. Oh, I made a spelling mistake also. REFRESH, right? I will copy this. Let's put the same. Now we have changed the grant type also, and if I send, now again we got access token and refresh token. So in this way, in the first call you can use username password to generate refresh token and access token, and again for the next call, from the next call, instead of going for username password, using username password, you can go with the refresh token. As I told you, this access token will be valid for 30 minutes. Okay, as a default in ServiceNow, you can also change it out, and the refresh token is valid for 100 days. So within 100 days, if you want to again generate the access token, you can use the refresh token. Okay, now how using this access token we can call the API. So we will again go back to the API. We tried running it out, and oh my god, it's required authentication. So what we can do, we can go to the header, and header we can add authorization. And now what is the type of authorization? So the authorization is bearer, right? So you can simply have bearer. So this will be done from the external system, right? Nothing to be done from bearer space. Now we have to give the access token. You can't hit the APIs using a refresh token, okay? You have to give the access token space. So this we have to pass into the header in order to get the API. So we are not using username and password to get the data. Now we are using the access token which we just got from the other API. If I send, now you can see we got the data, and we got the status X also has 200, and now we got all the incident. Okay, so people will ask why you got one incident, because we are given spam limit as 1. If I remove it out, send, then I will get all the incidents. Okay, so in this way we have seen how we can use OAuth 2.0 for ServiceNow inbound integration. Okay, people make it really complex. I don't know why, but OAuth 2.0 is pretty easy because you have to do and formulated steps only. There is no change in the steps whether you are doing integration with X tool or Y tool. Okay, Hope you like this video. Please like, follow, subscribe, and please drop the comments, because this video also came from one of the, not one, I got around 15 comments on how to call an EPM, how to provide an OAuth 2.0 access to the third party APIs, okay, to the ServiceNow APIs. So I'll be creating a follow-up session also on the outbound API. Till then, like, follow, subscribe, I already mentioned. Okay, stay with me in the journey of ServiceNow learning, and stay safe, stay happy, and have a nice day. Thank you.